In the echoing silence of a broken universe, one name became a whisper of dread. Kael Vorth. He was once a guardian, a protector of star systems, but the cataclysm known as the Collapse of Orion changed him. It forged him into a new kind of being, one with a terrifying conviction that free will was the universe's original sin, a fatal flaw that led only to chaos and suffering. Kael no longer sought power or dominion over planets. His goal was far more absolute. He sought to erase civilizations, to extinguish the very concept of choice, and restore what he called cosmic order. Behind him, entire constellations vanished like candles snuffed out in a cold wind. From the black throne of his void citadel, a fortress carved from the very fabric of nothingness, Kael Vorth watched the universe fracture under his campaign. And as galaxies died and futures were unwritten, he smiled. He believed he was the cure. But the universe, in all its messy, unpredictable glory, had its own answer. An answer that was imperfect, chaotic, and fundamentally human. It answered with resistance. The first challenger was Aaron Solis. Born on a drifting colony ship, a ghost vessel limping through the void, Aaron was raised among the skeletons of broken engines and the whispers of half-told legends. She was a starbound navigator, one of the last of her kind who could bend hyperspace not with cold calculations and complex machinery, but through pure, raw instinct. Where others saw numbers and vectors, Aaron felt the living pulse of the cosmos. She believed the universe was not a dead machine but a breathing, feeling entity. Her ship, a vessel as scarred and resilient as its captain, was called the Luminous Scar. It cut through the hazy, dangerous energies of the Orion Veil, a cosmic wound left by Kael's early conquests. She was not just chasing a ghost. She was following a trail of annihilation, a breadcrumb path of dead worlds. One of those worlds had been hers. Kael had taken her home, not with a roar of hatred, but with the quiet finality of a philosophical proof. He had made her world a data point in his grand argument. For Aaron, this was not a quest for revenge. It was a quest for truth. If Kael was right, if free will was a curse, then nothing mattered. Her loss, her pain, her entire existence was just a meaningless flicker in a flawed design. But if he was wrong, she would prove it. She would prove it with fire and motion, with the untamed energy of a life lived, not a life dictated. Aaron fought for the beauty of becoming, not the cold security of control. Then came the second challenger, Drax Nocturne. He was nothing like Aaron. Forged in the brutal war academies of the galaxy's inner sectors, Drax was a master tactician, a living weapon genetically engineered for dominance. His body was reinforced with dark matter implants, making him more than human, a being designed for one purpose, to impose order. He trusted structure, strategy, and the brutal efficiency of a decisive ending. Where Aaron moved with the unpredictable grace of a comet, Drax advanced with the crushing inevitability of a collapsing star. He didn't waste time wondering if the universe was alive. He only cared that Kael Vorth had shattered the established balance of power, creating a vacuum that he intended to fill. Drax didn't hunt Kael for justice or to avenge the fallen. He hunted Kael to replace him, to seize the throne of the Void Citadel and impose his own, more structured brand of control upon the cosmos. His was a mission of ambition, not of ideology. The collision was inevitable. It happened at the Shattered Expanse, a place where the laws of physics came undone. Here, time folded in on itself, and dying stars bled light across fractured dimensions. It was the perfect stage for the end of an era. Kael Vorth awaited them there, not on his throne but standing amidst the chaos, radiating an aura of calm, absolute power. Void energy coiled around him like a living cloak. As Aaron's luminous scar and Drax's warfleet emerged from hyperspace, Kael spoke, his voice echoing not just in their ears but in their minds. "You fight each other already," he observed, a hint of amusement in his cosmic tone. "One for chaos," he gestured towards Aaron. "One for control," he nodded at Drax. "You are the two halves of the mistake I am correcting. I am not your enemy. I am merely the conclusion." And then the battle began, tearing a hole in the fabric of reality itself. It was a conflict of philosophies made manifest. Aaron bent space around her ship, riding gravitational waves like a surfer. Her movements fluid, intuitive, refusing any fixed outcome. She turned Kael's own void energy against him, not by overpowering it, but by redirecting its flow, creating pockets of unpredictable, beautiful chaos. Drax countered with cold, hard precision. He deployed legions of war constructs, autonomous drones that adapted to every strategy. He fired probability weapons, missiles that didn't just target a location, but a specific future, attempting to lock reality into a single, inevitable outcome: his victory. His strategy was a mathematical equation of force, designed to prove that control would always triumph over chaos. But Kael stood between them, a singularity of purpose. He absorbed Aaron's chaotic energies and deflected Drax's calculated assaults with equal ease. He was the embodiment of the order that transcended both their ideals. He fed on their conflict, growing stronger with every blow they landed. You see? His voice thundered across the expanse. Your very nature puts you at odds. You cannot coexist. Only in nullity, in the absence of will, can there be peace. But in that climactic moment, something unexpected happened. Something that defied Kael's logic and Drax's calculations. Aaron, instead of launching another impossible maneuver against Kael, turned her ship. She didn't strike the cosmic tyrant. She reached for his opposite. She created a wave of pure, unchanneled life energy and sent it not as an attack but as a connection towards Drax. It was an offering, a moment of shared existence in the face of absolute erasure. And Drax, the man of iron will and perfect strategy, hesitated. For the first time in his augmented life, he faced a variable he had not and could not account for. An act that was not for control nor for chaos but for connection. In that single infinitesimal fracture of his certainty, in that moment he chose not to fire, the entire equation of the battle shifted. Kael Vorth felt it. The foundation of his philosophy, the certainty that all beings were doomed to conflict, wavered. And as his own conviction faltered, his control over the void weakened. The universe, which he had tried to silence, responded. In the heart of the shattered expanse, where no star should have existed, new suns ignited. Light, raw and untamed, flooded back into the darkness. Kael Vorth did not die. A being of his nature could not be killed in a conventional sense. He was scattered. His consciousness, his very being, was fragmented across the infinite tapestry of space-time, becoming a million whispers instead of a single voice. A dangerous echo, but no longer a god. In the aftermath, Aaron's solace vanished. Her ship, the luminous Scar, plunged back into the Orion Veil, but this time it didn't emerge. She became one with the cosmic currents she had always felt, passing from a person into a legend, a myth whispered by navigators who felt a guiding hand in the dark. Drax Nocturne survived. He returned to the inner sectors, but he was changed. The dark matter implants still hummed beneath his skin, but the certainty in his eyes was gone, replaced by something new. For the first time, he ruled nothing. He commanded no fleet. He sought no throne. He simply watched the newly lit stars and contemplated a variable he could never solve. And the universe, still wounded, still beautifully unfinished, continued. It was not ordered. It was not controlled. It was simply and defiantly alive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the cosmos, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more stories from the far reaches of imagination.